She froze. A text flashed on her phone, and her heart stopped. "I've been watching. You can't hide from me." She stared at it, hands trembling, pulse racing. The cafe around her blurred. People chattered, clinked cups, but none of it mattered. Because he was here. The man she thought she'd never see again. The one she had loved, the one who had left, the one who had broken her heart. And now, he was standing right across the room, smiling like he hadn't caused a single scar. Her mind screamed at her to run. Her body refused. The air between them was electric, charged with everything unspoken, everything unfinished. She wanted answers. She wanted closure. She wanted nothing, and everything, at the same time. And before she knew it, the door opened and he stepped in. The world tilted. Time slowed. All she could think was, why now? Why here? The message on her phone didn't make sense. Someone was watching. Someone new. And she was about to walk straight into a storm she wasn't ready for. A storm that would ignite everything she thought she had buried. A storm that would make her heart race, her knees weak, and her world change forever. And right at that moment, everything was about to begin. This is where her story starts. She couldn't believe her eyes. Standing across the crowded cafe, she saw him, smiling in a way that made her stomach twist. Why was he here? Why now? She had told herself she was over him, and yet, seeing him, made all those promises crumble. She remembered the first time they met. It had been raining, heavy summer rain that made everything feel alive. He had offered her his umbrella, barely covering them both. Something in his eyes burned into her memory, a mix of mischief and warmth she couldn't forget. And now, he was back. With the same smile, the same impossible charm. She wanted to run. She couldn't. Her feet moved forward before her mind caught up. "Hi," he said, calm but charged. "Hi," she whispered. He tilted his head, studying her like he could memorize every detail. "You look different," he said. "Yeah, I get that a lot," she replied, heart racing. They started with small talk, safe, but soon memories took over. Late-night talks, secret smiles, stolen glances. He laughed at things she had forgotten she found funny, and she laughed too until it hurt. It reminded her how much she had missed him. "You haven't changed," he said softly. Her cheeks warmed. She wanted to deny it, but the truth whispered she hadn't. And maybe she didn't want to. They walked together after leaving the cafe, their steps in sync, hands brushing occasionally, sending tiny jolts of electricity. Every glance carried weight. Was this just nostalgia? Or something more she didn't know, and he didn't say? That night she lay in bed, replaying every word, every laugh, every look. Her mind wouldn't let her rest. Part of her wanted to deny it. Part of her wanted to run. But another part, reckless, wanted to see where this could go. The next morning, a message from him flashed on her phone. "Meet me where it all began?" The place where it all started. Her pulse quickened. She couldn't resist. As she stepped into the familiar street, memories flooded back. Laughter, rain, umbrella, warmth. He was waiting, leaning casually against a lamppost. "You came?" he said. "I did," she replied, almost breathless. They walked side by side, careful not to cross the invisible line just yet. "You remember that night by the lake?" he asked, voice low. How could she forget? "I remember," she said, softly. "And yet, we never really said what we felt," he whispered. Her breath caught. Maybe that was why they had never let go. The tension grew, thick and undeniable. "You're different now," he said. "And you—" She replied, unsure. "Still the same," he whispered. The rain started again, heavy summer rain that soaked them instantly. She laughed, trying to dodge the drops, but he pulled her close. The world shrunk to just them. Electric, tense, charged. "You have no idea what you do to me," he said. Her heart raced. She started, then stopped. He smiled knowingly. You don't have to say anything, he said. Everything was about to change. Her phone buzzed, a message from someone else. Her heart sank. She wasn't the only one with secrets. The game had just begun. Her hands shook as she stared at the message. Someone claimed to know everything. He noticed her hesitation immediately. Everything okay? He asked. Yeah. It's nothing, she said, forcing a smile. He didn't press. He reached for her hand. The world narrowed to the two of them. The warmth of his palm, the spark between them, it was impossible to ignore. Do you ever wonder if we ended things too soon? He asked. Sometimes, she admitted. Sometimes I think about all the chances we didn't take, he said. Her breath hitched. Years later, drenched in rain, hearts pounding, feeling that same pull. Put yourself in my shoes, he whispered. Imagine, not seeing me for years. And suddenly, here I am, ready to make up for lost time. She wanted to protest. But the truth was, she didn't want to. They stayed under the awning, rain like a curtain around them. I never stopped thinking about you, he said. I never stopped either, she admitted. Silence fell, heavy and charged. He leaned in, close enough to feel the heat, the pull between them. You could walk away, he whispered. And? She asked. And I wouldn't stop you, he said softly. She looked into his eyes, and suddenly she realized she didn't want to walk away. Not now. Not ever. Hands tightened around each other. Words were unnecessary. Hearts spoke louder than anything else. Then, her phone buzzed again. A photo of them together, taken from somewhere unknown. Her stomach dropped. Someone was watching. He looked at her, concern etched across his face. This changes everything, she whispered. Not if we face it together, he said, holding her hand tightly. No matter the secrets, no matter the past, they had each other. But the twist? The person watching wasn't a stranger. Someone from her past who knew all their secrets. The game had only just begun. She looked into his eyes, feeling heat, love, and danger all at once. Nothing would ever be the same again. The night ended with a promise of love, passion, and courage to face whatever came next. Some connections, some sparks, are too strong to ignore, even if the world is trying to tear them apart. They stayed close under the awning, rain now a gentle drizzle, bodies pressed together, hearts beating in perfect sync. He brushed a strand of wet hair from her face, his fingers lingering on her cheek. Her lips curved into a soft smile, and she felt the warmth of him radiate through her. You have no idea how long I've waited for this, he whispered. She shivered, not from the cold, but from the electricity of his words, the intensity of his gaze. They laughed softly, breathless, and she leaned into him, letting herself melt into the moment. The world had disappeared. There was only him, her, and the fire between them. He tucked her hand into his, pulling her closer until she could feel the steady beat of his heart against hers. I never want to let this go, she admitted, voice barely audible. Then don't, he said, smiling, and for the first time in years, the weight of the past felt like it had lifted. They kissed again, slow and tender, full of longing and unspoken promises. Every touch, every glance, every shared breath reminded them of the love they had never lost. The night air was electric, charged with desire, affection, and the sweet thrill of rediscovered passion. For once, nothing else mattered. Not secrets, not fears, not the world outside. Just them and the knowledge that no matter what came next, they would face it together, heart, soul, and all.